row has their own clipboard.
So signing that clipboard, boys and girls.
Take your sheets, hold on to yours. Okay.
Make sure that you are signing that clipboard. That is our proof that you were given an application today at this meeting at this time. So there can be no question about what you were given. And understand, there will not be a second application. No student can come and say, oh, I lost it. Then our response will be, I'm so sorry to hear that. This is a responsibility that you're taking on, and the responsibility is to keep up with all of your things, including your paperwork. So this is precious to you. Don't lose it. My advice to you would be, go home tonight, take care of it, and get it back as soon as possible. Don't put it off. Make sure you get it back. Now I'm going to go over the front page, step by step by step by step, as soon as everybody has theirs in front of them. Ms. Meadows, does this table have theirs in front of them?
Yes, okay. They're just laying on the table.
All right. So at this time, look at your application. The front page gives you a lot of information that you need to know in order to meet the requirements. And again, we're reviewing the requirements, which are all A's in conduct the entire 4th grade year. So if you get a B the 4th 9 weeks, I'm sorry, we'll have to take it away from you. You cannot get a B in conduct. An academic grade, a point average, a 3.0 with no D's or F's in academics during the entire year. Don't let your grades drop. If your grades drop this last 9 weeks, you'll be dropped. I'm sorry. It's non-negotiable. This is what happens. Less than 10 unexcused absences and or tardies during the entire 4th grade year. I went through and looked at everybody's absences and tardies, excused and unexcused. Fortunately, you all met the requirement, but understand, next year, 2. 2, let me repeat that, 2. Because you're a student of service, or you might be a student of service next year, you have to be here. You can't come in late and go, oops, I'm tardy today. Oops, I just didn't feel like coming. No. 2, and you will be dismissed from duty. Okay. You had to have the recommendations of your teachers. If your behavior and your work ethic in the classroom was not what your teachers felt would be responsible as a student of service, then you were not recommended, but you were. And it says rating on the persuasive essay rubric. Please look at the back of this direction sheet now. Notice this is a rubric. Everyone has to write an essay. This is how your essay will be scored. The score you get on the essay will be added to all your other recommendations and requirements and qualifications in order to see who we will select. Your question that you're going to answer is on your application, and it says, please attach your persuasive essay. Refer to the scoring rubric with your response to the following. Introduce yourself to us in this essay. What leadership qualities do you have that would make you a good candidate for your choice of service? And what have you observed this year that you can improve on as a student of service next year? That's what should be in your essay, and your rubric is right there. This is how it's going to be scored. So there's no guesses. Score yourself. You've all been taught how to self-score. Make sure you have a good essay that meets all of the requirements. All right, back to the front page. Now here's the hard one. This is something you're going to have to work out. No applicant can ride a bus to school. You've got to find a way to get to school. You can be in a morning extended day so that your parents can drop you off as early as 7 o'clock in the morning. Or you have to have a carpool, but you cannot ride a bus next year. You've got to be here. and the buses don't get here until after duty time. So this is something you've got quite a bit of time that your parents could work out and know who's going to be a student of service and maybe get a carpool together. But I know it's hard, but it's a requirement. Now, Technocats don't have afternoon duty, so they can ride a school bus home. But if you're selected as a patrol, you cannot ride a school bus home. Somebody must pick you up or you must stay an extended day. We've got a job to do, and you can't be a patrol if you aren't here to do the job. So this is something you'll have to work out with your parents. And like I say, boys and girls, they've got all summer to work it out and figure out how they can get you here and get you home. So make sure your parents understand. There aren't any exceptions. We can't allow anybody to ride a bus because you're just not here in time to do the duty. We'll get questions in a minute. All right. If you know you're not going to come to TLA next year, if you already know you're moving or you're going to another school, then please do not turn in an application. Since we know that we only have 49 positions and we select you, then that means some of those other students would not get selected because you took their job away from them. That's not fair. Now let's say you are going to another school. Keep this application with you as proof for your new school that you met the requirements to be a student of service here, and that way you can immediately apply at that school and they'll look over your requirements for your new school. So please hold on to it so you can prove that you were recommended. Completed applications with essays must be turned in to Miss Parker in the office. Anybody not know who Miss Parker is? She's the one in that office right there, Miss Wozniak and Miss Parker, inside the office. You're going to turn that application with the essay by the close of school, that's 3 o'clock, on May 9th. This is April 24th. You have till May 9th to do this essay and get this filled out and get it back. Now, Ms. Parker, and do not give it to your teachers. Do not walk in and say, oh, here it is, and expect your teacher to turn it in. No, we're not taking any chances that a teacher might lose it on their desk because they have so many other papers or it got caught up in something else. So it's your responsibility to take that application with that essay attached and hand it to Ms. Parker. She is going to date it and timestamp it. That means she's going to put exactly the day it came in and the time it was turned in. So there's no question about when we received it, because it's got to be back by the close of day on May 9th. That's why I highlighted that on everybody's page, so that you know. Do not let your parents say, oh, Mom, will you turn this in for me? No, because we're going to note that on your application. That means you didn't take the responsibility. So that's a step down. Do we want a child who thinks it's Mom and Dad's responsibility to do their application? No. So don't hand it to your parents and expect them to bring it for you. You, as a student of service applicant, are to turn that in yourself, from your hand to Ms. Parker or Ms. Wozniak's hand. All applications will be time-stamped, I just told you that. And we will not accept them after that 3 p.m. on May 9th. So if you go off, if you wait till the very last minute and you zip off to go to school and, oh, I left my essay at home. Let me call Mom. She can bring it when she picks me up after school. She can, but we won't accept it. We will turn you down and say, I'm so sorry. You missed the deadline. And meeting the deadline is another one of those requirements for being a student of service. Now, it has my email address. If your parents have questions, they can email me. It's right on the paper, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. The telephone number and my extension is also there if they prefer a phone call. I will speak to them. It's right there. A video, as you can see, we're recording, at least I hope we are, every word we're telling you. I'm going to put this video up on our school website, and it tells you how to get there. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Yes, it does. It says on the TLA school website, under Programs, Student Leadership Team, Students of Service, this video will be posted. So your parents can listen to the video so they know exactly what we have told you today. Now, Ms. Meadows, do you have anything else you need to add to our applicants before we start taking questions?
I think you covered everything.
Okay, now, big things are, it must be back by May 9th, no exceptions. It must have the essay. Make sure you self-score that essay so you know how your essay is going to rate. And you cannot be a bus rider. Those are the heartbreakers, or those of you who might not be able to arrange transportation. But remember, you have until August to figure it out. An extended day is here both morning and afternoon, that your parents could put you an extended day so that you would be here for 2 weeks. Now we'll take any questions you have, and we'll have to make it short because we've got to get you back to class, I promised. Yes?
So, when we're looking at this and deciding, and let's say we are a bus rider and our parents like, no, we can't switch, then how would we let you know that we can't?
Just put bus rider on the application and we'll know not to consider it.
Okay.
Okay? Yes?
Can you type it up on your computer?
Yes, you can. We love typed ones. Yes?
Would it have to be like essay from like the writing essay?
That's why we put a rubric on there. You guys should know.
It's got to be high quality. Yes?
At least how many paragraphs should be in that essay?
How many paragraphs have you been writing in an essay in 4th grade? Because you guys just had the writing test in February. So you should be able to read the prompt that we gave you and answer it.
Okay, yes?
Does your mom and dad write the address and grandmother?
Your parents, they can tell you or they can write it in. Their address and email address, yes, they can write it in.
Neatly.
And understand, you also have email that we have all of your email addresses. Yes?
Can you be like a bus rider in the morning and a bus rider for the afternoon?
If you are selected as a Technocat. So if you select Technocat and go through the audition, because there is one more step for Technocats, there has to be an audition. And I'll tell you right now, boys and girls, if you're thinking I want to be a Technocat, one of the pieces of the audition is you have to say the Pledge of Allegiance without making a mistake. So make sure you know the words to the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes?
If you become a patrol, like you have after school activities, do you have to skip those activities or do you just not have the...
For example, what are you talking about?
Like,
If you have soccer practice or gymnastics or something like that? Well, the ending date of the day for patrols is 3:15. So as long as you are able to stay until 3:15, that's when we dismiss the patrols.
Okay, next question.
can you return like this one, like, how can I say this? Less than May 9th, like,
You can return it tomorrow. If you haven't finished, I would suggest you do it as take your time and make that essay good, because we do consider that essay with everything else, but get it back as soon as you're done. Don't put it off to that last minute, because anything could happen. You could get sick and not feel like working on it. You don't want to do that. Get it done. Yes?
what happens if you become a patrol and leave like early during the year?
Okay, so for example, you are a patrol, you have a dentist appointment in the afternoon and you leave school early, that's when you just need to bring me that dentist note so that I can excuse it.
Other than that, just because mom wants to
Yeah,
leave
then you'll
early,
receive
she was
demerits.
out to lunch and thought, oh, I'll just pick up my child up on the way home today. No.
No, if you leave school early and it's just to leave, you don't have like a doctor's note or something along those lines, it will be considered not on post and you will receive demerits.
Okay, we have one last question. Yes?
If you want to be a patrol, what time do you start and what time
You have to be here by 7:50.
7:50, you have to be in my room, not walking in the doors, in my classroom at 7:50.